Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jonathan back again with the weekly scuffle, and I'm here to talk about Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz in their upcoming boxing match and what I think is going to happen in this boxing match. And honestly, I think this match could really go one of two ways. One is Jake Paul ending Nate Diaz, or two, Jake Paul gassing out and potentially either being KO'd by Nate Diaz or outpointed and Nate Diaz wins by decision. Which in that case, I think it opens up vast opportunities for Nate Diaz. Of course, Jake Paul has already offered him a match in the PFL, which is basically another UFC type of league. And then, of course, Dana, if Nate were to win against Jake Paul, I'm pretty sure Dana White would be so grateful that he would probably give Nate Diaz a Conor rematch for the trilogy at 170 pounds in the UFC. And everybody knows that would be a huge event. So I think it makes a lot of sense for Nate to, of course, come in here and try his hardest to win this fight. But with that being said, I think Jake Paul at this point in his career is a bit too much for Nate Diaz, especially in the boxing scene. I think, Jake did bring in a new team with former world champion Shane Mosley and a new crew entirely. And of course, he lost his last fight, so he's gonna be looking to showcase his new improvements. And I think that's why he fought Nate Diaz and didn't go straight into a Tommy Fury fight. He noticed flaws in his last fight. Of course, that's why he changed his whole camp, his whole team, and that's why he brought in all these people in order to not fully reshape his style, but I definitely think we're gonna see some different things from Jake Paul. Maybe a little bit more movement. He definitely looks like to be in shape. He looks a lot more leaner than I've ever seen him, and that's very interesting. That's probably because of Larry Wade. He's a great strength and conditioning coach. He is usually around the Mayweather gym and a lot of those people, and he trains a lot of them as a strength and conditioning coach. So I think he's gonna be a very key difference in the way Jake Paul fights, because Jake Paul does look a little bit more like a boxer now, and I think we're going to be very, very surprised to see the level of cardio Jake possesses if this does go to the later rounds because of Larry Wade. And I just want to see what happens if Jake doesn't knock him out. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. I think Nate is a weird stylistic boxer, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Jake Paul navigates that. And it's going to be interesting to see how Nate handles Jake Paul's power. But with that being said, I think my official prediction will probably be Jake Paul KO, probably round 5 or 6. And with all that being said, we'll see how all this plays out and see you next time. Peace.